What's up, guys? Insane Game Manic here. How you doing? Hope you're well. We're back at reviewing Pokemon 2019, episode 17. Episode review. Let's get it, dawg. Let's get it. I'm alright. I'm okay. Alright. I was cutting out blood circulation. I was a little out of it. So this is the evolution episode for Scorbunny, which is pretty much based around the premise that it needs to use a fire technique. I do like the use of Darmanitan being kind of the catalyst of it, where he's fucking with Scorbunny, like, watch this. Oh! And he's like, you can't do, oh! And he's all up in the back. Even when he walks away, this motherfucker Scorbunny runs over to walks around. He looks over in the corner. Darmanitan's like, And it's like, get your shit up. Like, this is probably one of the funnier episodes, especially with Team Rocket. I think that's probably the most I've enjoyed Team Rocket in an episode in a long ass time. It's also a really good episode because I got to see Ash in a mentor role, kind of explaining. I mean, it's Ash being Ash, but I like the fact that he's like, because Go says some shit like, I was trying to bring out the most of Scorbunny's power in that Pokemon battle, and Ash is like, is that what that was? Ash in the back like, is that what you call it? Woo, Jesus Christ. I don't think it didn't meant to come off as a roast. And he even explained that, like, y'all didn't seem like y'all were in sync, so how would you call, like, he was more confused because it's like, yo, like, that's not how someone who's, like, working with their Pokemon completely, how that battle would have went or how they were acting. So that obviously wasn't the case. So I do like the fact that he's in like this mentor mode, and it's so like natural, like, cause he's still goofy. He's literally like the goofy master. Ironically enough, he reminds me a lot of like a younger Alder, like the way Alder was, except younger. Like, he's still goofy, but he also is like, he knows his shit, and that's kind of what I like about Ash. Like I said, Ash is to me the best part of this. We get a little bit more Koharu. I think they're going to make Koharu such a slow build, which is dumb because she's in the opening relatively frequently. And I'm like, bro, you can't have her in the opening this much. And she's like barely in episodes. Even here, we get a little smidget of her. I think the Team Rocket stuff was pretty entertaining just because I like Team Rocket when they're interacting with themselves and it's not based around catching Pokemon. So the whole evil or nasty plot Shitori game they were playing, without the context of Pikachu or Scorbunny or getting a Pokemon, I appreciate those moments because they are more natural to me versus we gotta catch that Pikachu. Like, I'm burnt out with that. So having them be more humorous in their own group, I think is more entertaining for me personally. So I'm cool with that. And then we finally, at the end of the episode, we get the evolution, and it seems like the evolution is in the same tier as like Charmanders and Charizard's from like Gen 1, where his personality kind of completely flips, and now you gotta relearn how your evolved Pokemon behaves. Now, knowing that the series doesn't do callbacks, they probably won't reference Charizard anyway, but it's obvious that he's evolved and he's become kind of a different Pokemon. He's more mature now, which actually in retrospect that kind of represents Scorbunny's evolutionary line in general, because the Scorbunny seems like the cute little rabbit. Raboot seems like, which is his dub English translation name, Raboot seems more like that he's in his cool kid phase, like, I'm too cool to have fun like that. I'm too cool to do da-da-da-da and da-da-da. And then like Cinderace seems like he's finally kind of coming to himself. So he takes off the fucking hoodie and he's more mature as Cinderace, but he's still just as playful. But he still has that playful charm. To me, it's kind of like that concept of growing up, where you feel like you gotta fucking like act a certain way to fit in. That's why Raboot, in a way, doesn't fit the other two lines. Like when you look at Cinderace and you look at Scorbunny, they both connect. But Raboot, in a way, seems kind of different, and I think part of it is that he's like the kid who was really playful and happy when he was younger, but then he kind of got ostracized because of how goofy he was. So he kind of conformed by acting like a certain way. They actually, in retrospect, they all seem like kids, and like their mental evolution, they're like them in high school. That's why Sabble's evolutionary, Sabble's evolutionary line, Drizzle is like, he was a crybaby as a child, and went through like this weird emo stage as a teenager, and finally kind of came into his own as the cool adult that he can be. But he had to kind of go through this depression phase to get out of it. And to me, some people would always say the strongest individual are the ones who are able to pass through their rough times and still keep going. And I think that's the idea. And Grookey's more of just kind of like the guy who was he was the more consistent. He was the guy who was true to himself from jump. Thwacky's pretty much in the same vein as Grookey. He's a little bit wilder, and then he kind of calms down. Like that seems to be the difference. That like Grookey was kind of like playful, Thwacky was wild, and then Rillaboom is like chilled out. But he never lost his passion. He just had to like dial himself back when he got older. Cinderace, he had to refine himself, and Sobble had to kind of go through, and Inteleon had to kind of go through his depression to become a better person. It's kind of a cool concept for those evolutionary lines. So I'd be curious if that's kind of like the gimmick with the Go and Raboot relationship, that he's no longer playful and like very messy, and he doesn't mess around with him anymore. Raboot is different. So maybe the arc with Raboot is going to be him understanding Raboot and like trying to figure out where he's at and trying to like relate to him. All right, it's the idea, and it's funny because I even like the whole mentorship parallels with Ash and Go in the sense that Ash's Pokemon are all evolved. If you've noticed, of the Pokemon Ash has, besides Pikachu, he's got an evolutionary Pokemon. So Gengar and Dragonite. I don't really count Mr. Mime because I don't think the series wants to count Mr. Mime, to be fair. He's getting fully evolved Pokemon, which that might be the premise, that because Ash has his shit together. He's just enjoying himself versus like Go, who has to get his shit together. That's why he has a lot of Pokemon where he's having to like rebuild himself. Now the next episode preview seems to be, I look at it as a reference to Unova again, because it says the World Championships. Well, I'm like, well, that's Black and White 2 then, I would think. And that was never, was that? Well, it was kind of touched upon in Best Wishes, but not to the same extent. But I'm thinking that's the direction they're going, is the World Championships. And then we get into the first fight with like, it's an Ash-focused episode with Pikachu, Gengar fighting. We might see Dragonite. I'm pretty sure we will. And it depends. If we see Mr. Mime again, then I'll also confirm whether or not Mr. Mime is like officially his, or if Mr. Mime was only used for the sake of Ash doesn't have any other Pokemon to use besides Pikachu. We'll see. But yeah, overall good episode. It actually, ironically enough, felt long. It felt like it was going longer than I expected it to. Like I was like, damn, we're still getting content. The fact that we saw Team Rocket twice in the same episode. And like I said, I like them being to themselves and doing their own little thing. Those are usually the better episodes in my opinion, not the Ash interaction ones. And I like Ash's mentor role, consistency, and hopefully we see Koharu more. So leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. This has been your boy, the Insane Game Manic, and I will catch you guys later. Oh, I'm coming. I gotta get over there to call the camera. Oh, fuck. I'm okay, I'm making it.